Okay, this is my Edge. I've probably had this about 9 years, maybe a little bit longer. I had this on a previous diesel truck. The reason I got this unit, first of all, it's not a tuner, it's strictly a monitor. It gives me the EGT temperatures, there's 5 of them. I monitor the battery voltage. And I have another screen that gives me other temperatures. The IAT in particular is what I like to keep track of. It's reading 133 degrees. And I have an LED, green LED light that comes on when I'm doing active regen. Watching the EGT temperatures will tell me when I'm doing a passive regen. And the advantage of watching my battery on a cold morning when I start up a diesel truck, where my voltage would read like around 14, and when the grid heater comes on, it will drop somewhere between 11 and 12, and then cut in and cut out. And as the temperature of the air increases, I think at about 20 degrees Celsius, then it doesn't cut in, cut out anymore. It's running over 200 amps, so if you ever get a message saying low battery, then there's a problem of some sort you want to check out. Because you can end up with a grid heater failure, basically end up ruining your engine if one of those bolts nuts falls in and the sounder. I suspect the cause, there's several things that may be causing this problem. The relay, the grid heater relay, may fail and stay on. I suspect that people are using tuners. They're dumb tuners. In other words, they just shove more diesel and ignore the sensors, because when your grid heater goes past 1350 degrees Fahrenheit, you're going to have a failure. That's why I like to monitor this, so I know if it ever goes past 1350, I know there's a problem. And so you want to be aware of that. And especially, you have these tuners, you're towing a trailer or some load, or maybe you're in a warm climate where it's 40, 50 degrees Celsius, and you're doing a regen at the same time. Probably it's the emissions systems that they have in this that's probably is the main culprit, but we have to live with it, and I think there's ways to avoid a grid heater failure. I'm replacing this unit with the iDash Monster data unit. The reason for that, more parameters of PIDs I can monitor. It records and saves to SD card about 100 settings every 10 milliseconds. And I import it into my database, and I can check at home in front of the computer anything that shouldn't be there. It's so easy to miss warning signs and alerts when you're driving, especially in a diesel truck. There's a lot of distractions. So the iDash is going to replace this unit. Nothing wrong with it. It works beautiful. I'll hang on to it, of course. And I will show you the iDash Monster and what I like about it and what I may not like about it. Okay, take care. Okay, our Banks iDash Data Monster unit. Here's the box. Instructions, I guess. A couple of stickers. The interface to plug into the bus of the vehicle. And the actual unit itself. This little collar comes off. So if you don't need it, depending on how you mount it, you won't need it. And comes with a little USB stick, and it came with a 16 gigabyte SD card. Okay, so one thing I noticed, the SD card sticks out. And because it sticks out so far, you can reverse it and you would not know the difference unless you had the instructions that the label side of the unit should be up. But this particular SD card has this barely readable markings. So I'm assuming the reason it sticks out is because they've used the basic iDash and this added SD card. So there's probably was no space to fit in. So you have to be careful. You may think you're recording, but you're not, unless the unit doesn't flash. And from that, you might have an idea something is wrong. But you have to be careful how you mount it because you could snap it off. And I just found out this little SD card that they have, same thing. It sticks out, doesn't lock, or it's not spring loaded. So be aware of that. And I've also learned that on this unit, you can record 100 parameters or PIDs, whatever you call them. So if your truck has more than 100, you would need to make occasional changes to record the ones that you want. But I think 100 will be adequate for most. Okay, I will show you a video already installed and how it works and what I like about it. Okay, when you first fire up, assuming you turn on recording, you will see that dialog show up just a few seconds ago. And if you notice the green light is flashing, that means it's recording. And to shut it off and on, that down button, you have to press and hold it for a few seconds. My plan, of course, is to put my favorite parameters on the first page, the 5 EGT temperatures, where I can monitor the passive temperatures that will indicate to me that we're doing a passive regen. And I would also have status, regen status, what tells me when it's doing regen on and off, active regen. And of course, my voltage, because the voltage, when it drops below 12 volts when you're first starting up the vehicle, is telling you the grid heater is on. And if it stays on too long, you know you have a problem. It should shut off pretty quick once it hits about 20 degrees Celsius. So this way, you avoid a grid heater meltdown, if that's the cause. And of course, the IAT temperatures. Now, because you got pushed so hard on those buttons, I can't just let it sit like that. It's okay just for monitoring, but if I want to make changes. So it's going to have to be physically mounted, stiff enough. And I don't think Velcro will be strong enough. I have to see. If not, I'm going to put in one screw right there in the corner. There, my finger is pointing at it. Somehow mounted in there. I'll have to make a bracket in the back. The advantage of keeping it there is that it's out of sight. It's not very visible for those on the outside, for theft, discourage theft, as they say. To use any other method, like a suction cup, it's very visible. You mount it in the dash, or you mount it where your handle is for lifting yourself into the truck. You have to put a hole, in behind the shroud. And, well, when you go to sell your vehicle later, you're going to have the expense of somehow covering that up or replacing it. So I don't want to do that regardless. And it's nice to be able to move the unit from one vehicle to another vehicle without leaving any problems or holes to replace. And I could quickly take it and mount it in one of my kids' vehicle if they have an issue. So, yeah, I like the recording part. That's my favorite. Okay, this is a sample of all the parameters that I've so far uh, recorded and created a database. And the labels are associated with it. I still got to do the category and group. So what's nice about it, let's say I had a problem with air temperature for my transmission. I have hours and hours of records. I can just search that one parameter and check under what condition this temperature went up or down. You know, that I can do that with every parameter. And so it's handy. Something you can't do when you're driving. That's true with any other errors. If I get a certain type of error and it doesn't seem to stay, you can clear it. I know every time in the past I used to bring my vehicle when it was under warranty still, and I had an error, and all they did is clear it. They basically recognize that connections get dirty or oxidized or something of that sort. So that's another feature with both of these units. I can clear my codes, both my Edge and this iDash. It clears the codes. Otherwise, you'll spend too many hours in the service station. Stop, clear it. If it goes away, then you know it's just an intermittent bad connection, usually. But then again, if everything is recording, you have a better idea under what conditions that this error occurred. So it's handy. If you're going to do something like this, monitor that in those details because you want to catch problems before it becomes expensive. It's handy. Otherwise, if it's just for simple little things, probably the cheapest monitor unit will work, or even some of the apps out there can do it. So I hope this gives you an exposure, what to watch out for, what to be aware of. Nothing worse when you buy something and you learn after you buy it, oh, I didn't know it had this limitation. So hopefully this helps. Have a nice day.